Hi guys. So one of the important factors in changing the tones you can get out of your instrument is the choice of pickup configuration that you use for any given song. So a lot of the times basses will tend to have two pickups. Sometimes they'll have more, but that's more rare. And occasionally they'll just have the one pickup. If you've just got the one pickup type of bass, and the biggest variations that you can do tend to be sort of the hand position, which I covered in the previous videos. But if you've got two or more pickups, then we start getting a bit more variation on what we can get out of the instrument by selecting different combinations of those pickups. So my default on any given two pickup bass tends to be both pickups on full, and then make more variations by the positions of my hands. Now, with this particular bass, and for any bass with sort of a middle pickup and a bridge pickup, both pickups on full tend to give you more of an emphasis on the very, very low end and the very high end, and a bit of a sorry about that, and a bit of a dip in the middle frequencies. Now this will give you sort of a nice warm rounded sound, and it also works really well for techniques like tapping, slapping, or anything sort of more advanced like that, as it maintains that bottom end but gives you a bit more of a sparkling top end to sort of emphasize those notes. And that's what I've pretty much been using most of these videos so far, with the basses that have those two pickups. And this is that sort of sound. So that's sort of a really good all-rounder, and it's generally my starting spot with any bass. So that sort of gives you a bit of a mid-dip tone. Now, if you solo a pickup and one that's more towards the neck, let me turn this the bridge pickup all the way down. So this is now just this middle pickup here. As you move towards the neck, the pickups will tend to emphasize the low end, but more importantly, emphasize the low mid frequencies. Now, it's important to note at this point that the extreme low end, the bass end of the frequencies, is not necessarily the frequencies that you hear. They're more the frequencies that you feel, sort of when a speaker is moving a lot of air and it's pumping against you. And that's great, but it's not necessarily what you're actually hearing in terms of tone of the instrument. The tone for bass guitars tends to be more around the mid frequencies. So emphasizing the low mids gives a nice warm rounded tone, but it also gives a bit more punch to your tone. So where we had the mid dip with both pickups on, emphasizing the low mids, you've got a bit more of a punchy tone without really getting it sort of too nasally or too thin a sound. It sort of starts punching through the mix quite well, while still maintaining a sort of round, warm character. And that's sort of a good old school tone that will work in a lot of circumstances and certainly sit well in a mix of a band. Now, conversely to that, if you go the opposite way and you solo the bridge pickup, so now this pickup is off and this pickup is all the way on, pickups that are more back towards the bridge tends to emphasize the high mids. So you'll get more of the top end and the high mid frequencies. You'll still have the bass note there, but the emphasis will be sort of more on that top mid section. And this will bring out a more sort of nasally approach, especially on a fretless bass, but the same principle occurs on any bass. So that's sort of less of a standard warm bass tone, but can work really well in certain circumstances. If you're in a band that's sort of more of a funk band or something like that, then it can work really well with staccato playing. Or if you're again on the fretless is really nice, it can really emphasize that sort of nasally wah sound of the fretless. And it's good for that sort of thing. A lot of players have made great use of that one, but it's a matter of taste and discernment, really, whether it works well in the situation you're playing with. Um, so yeah, I tend to start with both pickups on, and then sort of work out what any given song needs. And that tends to be my default, and it's more of a live thing for me, working in the moment, whether I need some more low end punch or more sort of cut through with the sort of nasally tone. Um, if you've got a guitar with a pickup that's right by the bridge, and they tend to be sort of more the Gibson sort of style basses, some of the more old school kind of things that have a big humbucker pickup here. Now that will really emphasize the real low end frequencies. So if it's just got that pickup, then obviously you've got to work with what that is, and I'll cover sort of amp EQing in a later video. But if it does have another pickup here, then I would generally recommend that pickup works in conjunction with another pickup to sort of bring out a bit more clarity to your sound. These are the sort of the more standard positions of pickups, and you can get a whole interesting range of tones just through those. So again, like I said, find your sort of default position and work from there. But then when you start playing with other people, find what works for any given song, and put that in your tool bag, and it's another tool to use.